Welcome back to Ferocious Education, this is Zed. Today I want to talk once more about Palantir. Now this company here, I do have a special place for it in my heart because I do actually enjoy what they do, and honestly I've seen job applications and basically what they do in terms of different companies, in terms of company roles, and it does kind of give me the feel of data and software solutions, something as big as Apple's given as a pedestal. Now, they're not creating devices, but they're creating solutions. They're creating solutions for things like army solutions, army contracts, different managements for governments, that kind of thing overall. I mean, if you go back to 2021, Palantir DuPont Therapeutics announced a strategic partnership. Army Vantage reaffirms Palantir partnership for a third consecutive year with a $116 million agreement, and the list goes on. The latest news was back on the 5th of January. Palantir Technology to expand in South Korea, in South Korea. So Hyundai Heavy Industries Group and Palantir Technologies to establish a big data platform for HHI, which is Hyundai Heavy Industries Group core business. Palantir Technologies and Hyundai Heavy Industries plan to form a joint venture to commercialize big data solutions. Hyundai Heavy Industries will deploy Palantir Foundry. Foundry is one of their products. As you get to see, they have 3 different products or platform: Foundry, Gotham, and Apollo. So right on here, it does go ahead and talk about it. So they basically signed an agreement on January 4th. And right on here is the big data platform and joint venture. The signing event was held on a hybrid online and offline format one day before the CES 2022. And it does talk about basically the future of shipyard project to transform itself into a smart shipyard for the Hyundai Heavy Industry Offshore Engineering affiliated with HHI Group. And this is supposed to be the first of kind in the world by 2030. All processes from design to production are connected in real time to build a shipyard that enables smart work management where Palantir's Foundry data platform is applied. So this is mainly where they're going to play a role in. The big data platform will also be adopted by energy affiliates such as Hyundai Oil Bank. The energy company plans to build a platform at its plant in Daesan, South Chungcheong province in South Korea for 5 years this year, with a strategy to maximize process efficiency by integrating more than 100 product or production management systems into one. And it does talk a little bit as well, like Hyundai Dosan Infracore, which is an affiliate of an industrial machinery, already deployed DI360, and they're going to be using as well Palantir Technologies. So this kind of gives you a bit of a view on the news and who they are. Now, going quickly in terms of some of the fundamentals, this price over book of the company is around 14.67. That's based on the last quarter. In terms of price over sales, based on last year's 23.19. Profitability, this is based on last year, so I'll wait until the new year to describe it. But we have some earnings that we can just play around with and kind of see a little bit of the results in terms of growth and talk a little bit about this one in terms of the company's growth. Total revenue for the last year has been slowly increasing. You went from around 322 million at this last year to in the last quarter to around 392 million. So it is an increase for around roughly $70 million. Now, that might not seem a lot, but let's take a look into the gross profits. The gross profits increased by around 50 million, so honestly not bad. Their operating income has actually gone from a negative 156 million to around negative 91 million. Again, not the worst when it comes to this. In terms of their EBIT, your EBIT here, you're looking at negative 154 million to around negative 100 million. Honestly, not the best. And their normalized EBITDA has been somewhat improving to around negative 97 million from around negative 150 million. Now, another thing I do want to see, I would really love to see some net profits onto this. But taking a quick look into right on in terms of the years, you're able to see from 2020, 2019, 2018, and until the time being, that there has been somewhat of a great profit increase from total revenues. Now, 595 million to around 1.4 billion this year. In terms of gross profits, this increase is seen from 430 million in 2018 to around 1.1 billion. Now, again, going to EBIT, you're seeing almost around the same thing, just an improvement of only 50 million on EBIT And the normalized EBITDA has improved by around 100 million, but still on the loss. So it's definitely not a profitable company, and it has room to grow, and that itself is causing a bit of an issue. Now, they have somewhat met or beat their earnings consensus, and they're expected to meet or beat it this quarter as well. Their estimate is around 4 cents per share, so very similar, that's for the EPS, very similar to what you've seen previously in terms of actual. Now, in terms of their financials, you're able to see their earnings somewhat decreased, although the revenues increased. Quarterly right on here, you're able to see exactly what I said. So there is an issue with profitability for this company, and hopefully this will be fixed. In terms of institutional buyers, you see a lot of people changing or basically averaging down, so changing their value change, although some of them have actually decreased some of the shares. Now we have a company here, Ways Alternative Balanced Risk Fund Investor. They actually put a short fund at around 10,455 shares, although Vanguard Total ETF has added around 710,000 shares. So it's a little bit mixed. Some institutions really play depending on what strategy they're going for. And if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notifications on, and don't forget to drop the like button, and let's move on towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis point of view, things are not really looking bullish on the moving averages, unfortunately. You got your 30 MA being above the 10 SMA, and the 200 SMA being above the 50 SMA. Now, this itself is of course because it's one of the lowest points it's ever been since last year, around the same time in 2021, although it was lower back early on in around October 2020, where it traded around $10 per share. Now, in terms of the current statistics and technical analysis, William Percent R, which is very similar to the RSI, shows that this one is in fact oversold. So meaning there's more sellers than buyers at this level. Now, the MACD has actually just crossed the negative, and that's not a good thing. You got to be very careful when it does go towards the negative. Usually that is an indication of a drop, as you get to see here. It did cross on the negative around the 10th of November with a drop, and just a bit gave a pulse and then slid downwards. The next time it went to positive reversal was back on the 14th of December, and between here and then that was 1792 versus 2386, and it lost around $5 or more than that. Momentum seems to be a bit around negative 2.34. It really hurts to say that. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow are mainly pointing downwards, suggesting there could be a bit of a lower price point to be reached. Now, moving average bands, they're all kind of dropping downwards. You get to see that incline or decline downwards, and that's not a good thing. Now, nonetheless, it's expected to trade between 1978 and 1687 on the Bollinger Bands, and in the moving averages around 2015 and 1649. Currently, it's around 1656, although those price points I just mentioned keep decreasing downwards, both the Bollinger Bands and the moving average bands. Currently, the unbalanced volume is very close to being negative, really showcasing that it is really coming into an end where the price point is really going towards selling than buying than anything. Now, we can go ahead and do basically a Fibonacci retracements. We're going to go all the way from around the $50 mark all the way down towards the $8.90. And you're able to see that the first Fibonacci retracement support that was supposed to be met 1742, and it broke below it, and the next one is 891. Not to say there's not other supports, I will mention that in a second. So now 1742 is a resistance, followed by 2269, 2695, 3121, 3727, and 44 or $45. Price line actions. Taking a look right now, there is a support at the 1650, and then below there 1591, 1463, and then 1317, and then it drops sharply to 1101, 996, and 908 or around 890. It's a very small range there. Now, resistances, there are a few. 1702 is the first resistance you got to be very careful of. Then 1778, 1872, around 1959, going up higher to 2139, and then around 2356, going to 2473, 2683, and then jumps a little bit higher to 2899, 3028, and then he starts seeing a bit of volatility around 3320, 3588, and around 3840, 3945, $42.07 and $45. Now, from an analyst point of view, 3 days ago, there was a reiteration of a buy around a price target of around $24. 5 days ago, you got a sell, which was reiterated. Currently, based on the last 3 months, it has 4 sells, 3 holds, and 1 buy, with an average based on 8 analysts being a moderate sell. The average price target is around $22.14, which is a 33.7% upside. Now, the lowest counter price target given is around $18, which is still around 10% from where it is right now, 8.7 to be precise, while the highest is around $25, which is around 50.97% from where it is right now. Comes to the question, Ed, what do you think is going to happen here? Well, this is one of the companies that I actually do like, and I do hope that they actually go ahead and fix their balance sheets. I think their biggest issue here with an uncertain market, the market hasn't been the same. Even Apple kind of dropped in the last few days. Companies that don't perform with high profitability or positive profitability nonetheless tend to basically get the bottom of the barrel. And so it will get beaten up unless it does fix its profitability. Then I think it will most likely going to be a bit more resilient to just the average fluctuations in the beat up in drops for tech companies or just drops in the market itself. However, I do see this company as a prolonged option for me, and it could be a bet that I'm doing. But for me itself, the closer it is to $10, I would like to add. Now the question is about an entry level, so anything between $15 and around, let's say, $16.56 might be a little bit off the zone that you want to wait on, because if it does drop below $14.40 or $14.34, it has a very chance to see $11.18, and that is a price I would love to pick this one at. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.